on the water where I wanna be. Looking at my daughter, she need more from me. Time I sacrifice to double my hustle, foolish pursuit. She just wanna hear me say that I love her more than I do. I need more time and patience, the weakest of all my virtues. I'm feeling like an 11-year-old past curfew. Perfect word in my purview, fighting to build it. Eyes 1 in a million, just enough to shine my brilliance. Cause I know they never see nobody like me. You close your eyes, you probably wouldn't dream nobody like me. Low class, but I'm gon' get the queen of nightly. Living in between the nightly. She just asked, I leave my Nikes on. Wake up early in the morning, chase the rising sun. Yeah, the rising sun. Yeah, the time has come. Black Americana, who the fuck gon' stop us? Run too fast to catch us. Jump too high to block us. Look how smooth I shake 'em. They like my maracas. You never felt your speed till you heard them choppers. Or you seen them coppers. Or you felt them robbers. Looking right around the corner, my town full of monsters. It's amazing I seen 25 and kept my conscience. I thank God I passed 25 and kept my conscience. It's amazing I seen 25 and kept my conscience. I thank God I passed 25.
See now, see morning, the sun steals us from our dreams. So sudden, no warning, nothing is what it seems. I know such a long way to go, headed down a road I've never been before. Just let the fire ignite in your soul. Just let the fire ignite in your soul. Yeah, yeah, no. Just let the fire ignite in your soul. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just let the fire ignite in your soul. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just let the fire ignite in your soul. Yeah, let the fire. Let the fire ignite your soul.
Music's all I know. It's time I fucking make it. Follow flows with flows. Sometimes interchange it.
Yeah, I think you brought it wrong. There's more to study, like the Amish on the Autobahn. You trot along with horse and buggy. I'm here to open up the engine with my penmanship till every piston in the engine slips, and that's the end of it. Now that you mention it, I venture with the lack of censorship. The tension stiff as prison benches where my henchmen sit. I'll eat your intimates. My sentiments deadly as 7 sins. And if it's all about the Benjamins, well, frankly, my wiener's in the same ballpark as Derek Jeter's. Fuck with my flow, Joe, when you catch a scarlet fever. I'm in the backwoods with zigzags and a MacBook. My last look back like grainy Sasquatch video tracked. I'm lit as a match, ribbon cut to the hash. Cops knocking, lifting the latch with sniff still stuck to my stash. It's not a good look. My cookbook hits shelves at Barnes & Noble. If the shit sells, it harms the hopeful. You hard as opal. I keep the green around me, puffing like a Sean Combs lawn gnome. Homes, my garden's local. My ardent vocals pack a wallop on a scoble. Here's $1 for you trawlers. Build a wall around you yokels.
Music's all I know. It's time I fucking make it. Follow flows with flows. Sometimes interchange it. Losing all my hope. Stuck inside this matrix. If I could go back, no, I would never change.
See, I pick it apart like ripping its heart right out of its chest. Oh my God, I'm making a mess. Straight from the start, the icicle darts, they hitting the mark and penetrate flesh or interstate wrecks. Whatever the cost, I make it look flawed. Investigate cause of death, better call techs and litigate laws. Get a straight vest and send for the dogs. I did it, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I had good intent, I fought it within and I tussled with sin, but I do it again. I swear I do it again, I'm doing it now. I'm bruising its ribs, I'm raising them too. I'm making a stew, just give me 2 hours and some wine to reduce. I'm grinding the brew, my timing is proof. I'm aligned with the truth, my mind's in a loop. I'm killing these beats while designing a noose. And then I'm filling these streets with the pine to induce. I got that fire and that flow, I mix it right in the booth.
Music's all I know. It's time I fucking make it. Follow flows with flows. Sometimes interchange it. Losing all my hope. Stuck Stuck inside this matrix. If I could go back, no, I would never change it.
Check it. I'm one of the greatest, fuck if they ever say it. I'm gonna relay it, fuck if they ever play it. I've been quiet so long, they probably think I'm praying. I'm in tune with my God, there ain't no room for Satan. Whether it's blatant or understated, it's understood. I'm out here making this music that niggas wish they could. I'm on a mission to back me something like making good. I need a baddie with a fatty for the extra push. I need a baggie full of Cali, that's the pressure kush. I start my morning with a salad bowl and then I book. I'm at this money like it's Peter Pan and I'm hooked. This world is Neverland, that's why I never look. Blindfold with my eyes closed, high though, so I see things with my eye, bro. I know you don't understand and it's fine, yo. I'ma just fly low, dropping gems till they minds blow.
Music's all I know. It's time I fucking make it. Follow flows with flows. Sometimes interchange it. Losing all my hope. Stuck inside this matrix. If I could go back, no, I would never change it.
Now don't get me confused. I understand that it was built on our backs. I understand that it ain't easy for blacks. But what I'm saying is, we live in a time where this shit is open. It be the same motherfuckers complaining about getting the money and they'll walk with some change in the street. Like what?
Why they complain about who had the privilege? I tapped into my spirit, tapped into my village.
I reached to grab the bowl just to pack and fill it. Niggas on vibe so low, time to attack the ceiling.
Walked through the valley even though I feared it. Sprinting towards the hurdles, watched as I cleared it.
Dove into my soul, found a way to kill shit. I took the cards I was dealt and built a house real quick.
Can't stop my moves, my game tight and homie, it's not my shoes, my aim right, swish. Life too short to cruise, your snooze might miss. Desert boots lace and these made for wayward minds, nigga.
So stay inside, nigga, cause the rain is violent. And if you come outside, you gon' feel it like a hydrant.
These niggas better get back or get better, cause I'm coming like a pack of piranhas, niggas feet in time.
My nigga, get the money. Don't let it get you, stay on top of square. Work through the misuse, shit ain't always fair. Life is out to get you, I wish I could save you, I wish I could fix you. My nigga, get the money, don't let it get you, stay on top of square. Work through the misuse, shit ain't always fair. Life is out to get you, I wish I could save you, I wish I could fix you. Don't give me no crown, just give me the key to the town. Invisible chains, damn, all of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. Don't give me no crown, just give me the key to the town. Invisible chains, damn, all of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. No surprise, ain't seen the future, I just seen the signs. Open my eyes, told the teacher that I need to slide.
I'm happy just to be alive. That's why I like to start my day by rolling up some fire weed and taking scenic drives.
So we gon' ride, catch a vibe, turn the speakers high, reach the light. With so much speed, we gon' screech the tires.
All terrain, moving with the changing times, nigga. So get correct and step up your frame of mind, nigga.
Y'all come in the room, share the video, like it, sub to the channel. We're about to get started in a little bit, man. I appreciate y'all.
Windows down, floor the breeze, let the speakers ride. This a crazy world and I'm just trying to keep the peace inside. Skip the cake, let's make it easy as a piece of pie. Sweet potato like my grandma made, yeah, that's the sweetest kind.
Green so fire, they gon' come get a whole plate. That pot liquor thicker than a strip-on showcase. That beats on the string, always looking for more bass. Deliver what you need like I'm working with Postmates. I've been in another league, but I still cover home base.
Hopping off the plane to the train, backpack full of pressure. So I don't need the plug, let's just charge a Tesla. Ray Mysterio was my professor, so I'm skipping next semester. Tell him wait to check up. Flag.
They gon' feel the draft when you speeding past. Don't go too fast, you could crash and you miss the lecture. Niggas talking about that math, we gon' hit the textbooks. Yeah, I can show you how this shit work. The process been approved. Niggas move just to flip work. You niggas better retract or get severed, cause you coming with a couple katanas, nigga. Your soul is mine. My nigga, get the money. Don't let it get you, stay on top of square. Work through the misuse, shit ain't always fair. Life is out to get you, I wish I could save you, I wish I could fix you. My nigga, get the money,
Don't let it get you, stay on top of square. Work through the issues, shit ain't always fair. Life is out to get you, I wish I could save you, I wish I could fix you. Don't give me no crown, just give me the key to the town. Invisible chains, damn, all of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. Don't give me no crown, just give me the key to the town. Invisible chains, damn, all of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound. All of my niggas are bound.
What's going on, y'all? Black Collar King, Krusty Wiz here, man. Y'all come in the room. We about to get started. Cool. All right. Okay, y'all. What's going on? Black Collar King, Krusty Wiz, man. I hope y'all are doing well. Man. I wanted to come to y'all, bruh, and do something that I've been talking to a lot of different artists and musicians here in Northern Alabama about some things that they want to do. They want to go to the next level and things like that. And so me being the musician that I am, I'm not endorsed by anybody. I haven't went on any tours or anything like that. Nothing extravagant. But I have been living off of music for, I would say, since since my second semester of 12th grade. So I think that was 2012 was when I got my first apartment. And I've been living off of being a musician since then. And I started playing when I was 12, 13 for real, when I really got into it. And that's considered late to some people. But here we go. I wanted to hit you guys with something, a few things that I wanted to just address, not only on a public forum, but if you talk to me and you see me around, Huntsville, and you just talk to me and you ask me different things, I mean, I'm pretty much an open book because I see that there's room for everyone, even in the midst of a pandemic. And it seems like it's been more room that has opened up really since everything is reopening up and things like that. So what I wanted to do with this live stream, I wanted to hopefully help someone, musicians and singers alike, to better themselves and get on the level that they want to be at. Because I'm not at the level that I want to be at, I guess musically or business wise or financially, but what I have done these past 10 years, I guess from 2012 to up until 2022, July 30th, I think, will be the official year. I think I started playing drums like July 30th or something, like 2008 or 9, something like that. And then, when I was 13, I started getting paid for it and whatever, right? So then I wanted to do this so, there could be, I guess, a little bit of hope, hope for people, you know what I'm saying? And then because, like I said, man, there's room, there's a lot of different avenues to get to where you want to go and to maintain yourself, man. And I've been very fortunate to be able to create, maintain, and hopefully sustain throughout this music career that I've been privileged to have. Because when I was birthed, I didn't, ask for this, but I love what it's gotten me so far, right? So I was talking to I was talking to a few musicians and singers. Let's get some more music going real quick. I was talking to some more singers and musicians, and they were saying like, "Hey, Mike, how can you get more gigs? What's up with these people's budgets? How can I get to this venue? What did you do to get to this venue and things like that?" And it's really been a really it's been a journey to say the least. It's been a it's been a learning experience, definitely. So what I wanted to do, when I talked to my friend Vaughn about this, shouts out to Vaughn, the producer. I wanted to give people like tools that I've seen growing up, just vicariously, living and going through things. Three usually foundations, two more important than the first one that I'll talk about, that I know I got growing up as a musician, because I have a mentor, and he's been with me since the beginning, and he's still with me. Shouts out to Lou Verniak. And I wanted to. He asked me. He was like, "Man, what do you see that is like a growing like trend, or something that you feel like needs to be discussed?" Um, and I'm gonna discuss those things. And I believe I'm coming from a place of discussion, from three foundations that I believe growing up as a musician, and if you're so lucky to have a mentor as an artist, you can have in order to start and then build in your musical career. So if you remember the video I posted on my Instagram and Facebook, all of those are in the chats and the description. Um, you saw that I was talking about three foundations. It's a spiritual foundation, it's a musical foundation, and it's a business foundation. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through those three. Like I said, more too in depth more than the first one. And so the first one would be the spiritual foundation. The spiritual foundation, right? And usually this is subjective because it depends. Not all musicians come out of church, right? So I'm just using myself as an example. I grew up in church. So the spiritual foundation, growing up in church, they would call us, Levites, and I believe they still call us that today. But they would call us Levites, and I was talking to Lawrence Souffrant. I appreciate you, man. Shouts out to him. And he let me know, because I came across a question during this topic of research, and he was like, "Yeah, the Levites, some of them were musicians, but all musicians weren't Levites." And what separated the true Levites that played music and musicians that were trying to be Levites is that the Levites their main goal was to do the will of God, teach the law to the people, and aid them in worship to fulfill their obligations to God. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what you do as a musician growing up. You come in, you learn your music, you do your devotion and things like that, and then you go forth before the people, to like aid the priests, the pastors, the prophets, teachers, etc., and the people, in worship, and you're giving your skills back to God that He's given to you, right? So that's pretty much the spiritual foundation, and like I said, that's pretty much subjective, because not all musicians start off in church. But I know for me, using myself as an example, that's where I started, and that's what they told me, right? So now for the musical foundation, right? So the musical foundation, just really basic stuff. I remember growing up, I didn't know how to actually play a groove, but luckily I had someone with me, Lou Verniak, to what I'm saying, actually teach me, hey, dude, these are the basics, right? So with him, here's some basic stuff, or with me, here's some basic stuff. That I came up with. It's like, musically, what genre do you play primarily? For me growing up, and I think even still now, I think primarily gospel, but it's not like contemporary or, your regular like gospel stuff. I'm doing a lot more like bluegrass kind of stuff now, but it's still gospel or whatever. But because I play for a Presbyterian church and I play for a different churches around the city as well, and I play for a 12 o'clock service. It's kind of like a youth service, so we're playing, you know, what strong finish, you know, stuff like that, real hype stuff. So you know, that's what I do, right, primarily. And now I'm going off into like R&B kind of trap, and I've been playing a lot of like mountain funk lately, which is pretty much just blues and rock. You know, shouts out to Jess Goggins. So what do I primarily play is gospel, right? So with that, gospel takes certain certain gospel's very, what, how can I put it? It's very complex. You know, it's very tight. It's very clean. It is very really intent. You know, man, I know with Lou, he was very much on me about like the basics. You know, staying in time, knowing your rudiments, knowing placements, using the whole set, knowing what parts of the set to use and things like that, man. So how long do you practice? That determines, you know, how long or the type of skill level you reach at. You know, I know for me, for on a worst day, it'll be 0 to 30 minutes. On a good day, it'll be 2 to 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then that entail will tell you what type of level that you want to reach. Who are you looking at that inspires you locally and internationally? That's doing something that you want to do on the same level or higher, and seeing you know what it would take in order to you know what I'm saying, get to that level. Whether that's, you know, taking up recording and stuff as well, which I'm trying to do. You know, an artist can do this as well. You know, with recording, getting a mic, a condenser, a MacBook, Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying, something like that. Or what is it? Pro Tools, Logic Pro. Getting in there, honing your skills not only vocally, but technologically through these interfaces and these DAWs that take a lot of a lot of practice and intent on mastering and actually having a good sound, right? And so then, with all of that being said, you got to figure out like, what does that look like? I know for me, with the level I'm trying to reach, it looks like being able to tour, and if not tour, just travel a whole lot, and be able to make money from home by cutting records. That's what it looks like. That's what that looks like for me. Who does that look like for me? For me, it looks like anyone. What you want to be able to do musically is, once you find out what your primary genre is, you want to look out for other genres that pique your interest. Because I know for me, for an example, before I knew how to play drums, my first album that I purchased, I think, was Blink 182's Self-Entitled album. You know, Travis Barker was my favorite drummer back then. I knew nothing of drums. You know, so then after coming into gospel and seeing how these drummers attack music, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So now, after getting in that genre, now being older and going back to the genre that I just listened to for leisure, it's very surreal and fulfilling to actually be able to play those type of genres in a setting and then make money off of it, right? So that looks like anybody for me. That looks like anybody. And where would that be? Where does that look like for me? It looks like anywhere that I can go, you know. And I said all of that and I had all of these points to really have to say that you really have to take into consideration what you want to do, how long do you want to do it, and how to attack it, and where do you want to do it? Do you just want to do it in your city? Do you just want to do it in your state? Do you just want to do it in your region? Do you just want to do it in this country? Do you want to go global? I know for me, I would love to go global, you know, but things are happening that may or may not allow that to happen, you know. But at the same time, that's why I say not only would touring be something good that I would like to do, but actually being able to record my live drums from home and be able to cut tracks and get money like that or whatever. Spend more time with my family, more time freedom in general. You know what I'm saying? So, speaking of wares that look like, that segues into kind of sort of networking inside of a musical foundation, right? And that is finding your network is very important, and that's finding people that are easy, like I said, doing what you want to do at a higher level or where you are and are serious about trying to get to the next level, and seeing what tools or what workshops or things like that they're attending and things like that to actually like hone your skills. And I know in this situation, in this day and time, it's kind of hard because I've even reached out to people in person and tried to see like, hey man, can we get up or something like that, you know, but it doesn't happen. So I have to, you know, go for what I know, and then, you know, go on the internet, things like that, and find something because I really want this, right? So finding people who will genuinely help you is a great way to build your network, and not only through music, man. It's I just came from a funeral today, and it's really good to have friends outside of music as well that you can just kick your shoes off with. Because I know for me, the funeral I just came from, this guy, he was my friend, I think since like third grade. Had nothing to do with music or anything like that. He passed maybe like 2-3 weeks ago from like a heart attack, man, and he's my age. You know, so it was crazy, man. It was real crazy. But a guy like him, I can call up and just, it's not about music. It's nothing heavy or anything like that, man. We're just kicking it, and it's cool. You know, we may talk about something heavy, but you know, that's, you know, it may or may not come up. But usually I hang around mostly people that are like working. You working musicians, that's pretty much who I'm hanging around, and we just pretty much just talk about work. You know, and that's great to have as well, but it's also great to have that balance, to have someone to just like, you know, another person that you just ain't got nothing else to talk about except just, you know what I'm saying, being cool with them and their, you know, your experiences, right? So yeah, like I said, in building friendships, and that can turn into building friendships that form into business ventures, right? Because going to different venues and things like that, being a musician, you meet a lot of different people. And what you know, how you talk to people and things like that is very important. And then I know for me, because everybody's not like this, I try not to just like use people. You know what I'm saying? Not to just use them or whatever. Try to actually, if you have something, I know for me, I try to be very intentional and direct about with the type of interactions that I'm making with people, especially if it is concerning business. If it is that, it can just stay that. But usually, man, I find if you can find someone that you just genuinely click with, and then it's like, oh, okay, hey, I happen to know somebody that owns this venue or whatever, and they're looking for that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Genuine friendships like that could turn into business ventures, man. And just to piggyback off of that, maintaining authenticity while evolving in those networks, those spaces, and those different places with those different people, man. It's very important to maintain who you are, maintain integrity, and still, you know what I'm saying, try and get the bag and evolve, man. I know artists around me that I know that are serious. I see them, you know, evolving. What does that look like? They're either doing solo shows when they usually just do full band shows, or they're redoing their Facebook pages to or Instagram pages to you know, be like, hey, I'm gonna be more focused on this, you know, on this, on whether it's I'm gonna be focused on making music videos, or I'm gonna be focused on getting people to get into my websites to download my music or something like that, or download my art or anything like that, man. But it's always good to remain authentically who you are, and then rebrand yourself, because we all need that. I always didn't wear these head wraps, you know what I'm saying? But people that knew me before, they know I've changed. But at the same time, I've still maintained a level of familiarity through my authenticity, that they still respect, you know, even to this day, you know. So I believe that is it for the musical foundation. So the last one, this isn't going to be long. Last one is the business foundation. The business foundation, I believe this is one of the most important ones besides the music, because your music ability and capacity, that is what really your musical capacity, and the greater, the higher it goes, that's what increases your monetary worth, right? So now, business foundation, right? More than a musician, right? So being more than a musician, I say that because there was a time where I was just waiting on people to call me for a gig. Be like, man, okay, I hope this artist calls me, and you know, on this Friday or whatever, right? So, but then I think around like 2018, 2017, I just got like really tired of waiting. So I was just like, man, okay, I'm just about to like put a band together or something, you know. And then I did, in conjunction with hitting up a pianist in where is that? In Tennessee, Ralph Garrett. Shouts out to you, my friend. Um, I remember, man, I told myself, I was like, bro, I'm just tired of waiting on gigs, man. I'm not getting a lot of calls or whatever. So, man, I need to figure out what to do. So what I did was I just looked on my Facebook page, and I just was scrolling and looking for musicians that I happen to not know, but I just friended them because of whatever. And so, like I said, I hit him up and was like, hey, man, I'm trying to play somewhere, man, or something. And he was like, man, hey, all right, bet. So I think maybe 2-3 weeks later, he hit me up with a gig that I couldn't do, but I ended up playing for a wedding that I believe ended up paying more, and we had and we still have a relationship. I've recorded records, records for him and things like that, and he's actually the first person to give me opportunity in a while, besides Lou, to actually cut on some gospel tracks, man, and I really appreciate him for that. But I would have never did that had I never gotten tired and was like, hey, I need to get up and do something about my situation because I don't like it. I want to play more, right? So then what that was, and like I said, in conjunction, I made a band with Kiani Taylor, Destiny. Why can't I remember your last name right now? But Destiny, DC, Ronald. Man, I love you, dude. I hope you're doing well, man. Ronald and who else? Ronald was on bass, and then who else was it? We had Lene on guitar sometimes, but I forgot who else because that was drums, keys, and bass. Yeah, but we had our little 5 piece going on, sometimes 6, like I said, and we put on a show at the Dish, and shouts out to Cleveland because me and him, we've established a business rapport. Really, I think maybe 20, I think 16 or 17, because he asked me to put a band together for the Love Doctor. If anybody knows the Love Doctor, y'all know what I'm talking about. He came to the Dish, and I put together a band, and you know, opened up for him, and then played for him. You know, and got my musicians paid, you know, and things like that. And so with all of those things, I was like, okay, man, can I take it a step further and actually start going to some of these venues that are just opening up in the city and seeing if I can do some things like that, you know? And so what I did, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to figure out how can I make a gig happen at a venue that I want, you know? And so I started thinking about that, and then in that time between 2018 and I believe 2020, 2018 and 2020, I was traveling a lot back and forth from Nashville, and shouts out to Tommy G. because and no Sierra Leone, Harrison, and bro Brennan, man, bro, I miss all of y'all, bro. I love y'all, man. Shouts out to them, bro, because during that time I saw them really in the studio going hard for like 4 or 5 hours. Us having rehearsals 4 or 5 hours because we had a show in Florida back in like 2018, 17, something like that. Going back and forth. Him going back and forth from Tennessee because he wanted to move while he was still, here in Huntsville because he wanted to go to the next level. And so him doing that, we got a lot more shows in Tennessee. And so in that, I was like, okay, cool. So I'm seeing what Tommy's doing, and I'm seeing that they got an EP out. I'm seeing, that they have a full album out and things like that. And I see that they got connections, like people in Florida and stuff like that. There was I think we met the mayor of West Palm, and I was like, okay, great. This is good, man. So how can I do all of this in Huntsville? Because I see money, and not only do I see money, man, I see potential, and not only potential, man, I see artists down here working hard, like really working hard, man. And artists like that really do work hard and have bodies of work, make it easy, very easy for someone like me that is hungry and that is going from venue to venue seeing, hey, what do you require for someone to come here, perform, and get a nice size amount of pay? So, so now I was traveling back and forth, right? Seeing how I can do this here in the city. So I'm like, okay, so you know what? I said, I'm going to take a risk. What I'm going to do, one day I decided, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to call up the camp. Shouts out to Adam and everybody there. I said, I'm going to call up the camp and I'm going to be like, hey, I have an artist out here in Nashville that wants to come here and perform this. And then they said, oh, okay, well, what's this, and this? Do they have this? Can you send me this? And I was like, yes, they do. And what was all of this? They had a YouTube presence of good quality videos. And they had social medias, very accessible social medias, non-confusing, very direct social medias. And then they had streaming platforms, multiple songs on multiple platforms, multiple albums, on multiple platforms. And they were like, okay, well, great, let's do it. So I put on that first show at the camp, and then I'll tell you guys this story as well with Larissa J that I just brought recently to the camp. She, I met her actually with Tommy. And I just saw her one day, and I was like, man, okay, wow, she's gorgeous. And then I was like, oh, okay, wow, she's really good at her craft. And so we had made a connection back in 2018 or whatever. And then now I did the same thing that I did with Tommy, and I was like, hey, what's this? What would this? What would getting her here look like? What would that look like with there? How much would she get paid? How much would we get paid? Things like that or whatever. And really, it was very smooth. It was very smooth. So that's why I say showing up more than a musician. So what it is that I can now facilitate and then put on shows, and not even shows that can get people paid, but even a free show, right? The reason why I wanted to do this live stream tonight was to kind of commemorate King's Council that I did last year, literally 365 days ago at Sidetrack. Shout out to Shane. And I put on a show with a myriad of rap artists, R&B artists here in the city. Shouts out to Wade Brown, DMR Soul. Shouts out to JC the Don, Free JC. I hope y'all have not forgot about him, because I have not. Free JC. And who else? DJ Yeah, the other guy was supposed to come, but he didn't. Right? But that was a free show that I put on just to see, because just to see what I could do just off of my word, just what I could do off of my word, and the strength of my network. Because the thing is, my word would have been nothing without my network, right? And then that band was DC, Ronald, Fred. Shouts out to you, my friend. Ronald again, and then Brandon Lee. Shouts out, man. Shouts out, man. So yeah, and that was good, man. And that was an all free show on a random Wednesday. I think it was either a Wednesday or a Thursday, but it was a Wednesday or Thursday, and it was a pretty good turnout. It was a pretty good turnout. So much so that they were like, "Hey, man, dude, can y'all keep going? We want to keep going or whatever." So I want to do something else like that again. And that was taking a calculated risk, because I did not know who would be there. I knew that I would be asking these artists to lend themselves to me for free, just to see if I could do something that was in my mind. So that was a calculated risk that I took, and I appreciate everybody that did that. And the next time I do something like that, I'm gonna make sure that people get paid for it, man. Because I like I said, man, I love what I do, and more so than that, I love the people, man. I love the people. So as long as I'm making the people happy, man, I'm happy, bro. So taking calculated risks, man, right? So money management. Money management is important, but I mean that's pretty much across the board, anywhere. I guess pretty much the only thing I can say about that would just be to make sure that you're paying your bills, you're investing in yourself, and then you're diversifying your portfolio. What would that look like? What do I mean? Crypto, stocks, binary options, foreign exchange, things like that. NFTs, things that grow your money over time, right? So then you have more money to have the peace of mind, so you're not running around thinking about bills and stuff like that. And you have your craft that is passively, well, your craft that is helping you access capital to then invest in assets, so you can passively increase and hopefully get the generational wealth, because that's pretty much like the buzz phrase now for our people is generational wealth, right? So yeah, that's pretty much money management. Pay your musicians, pay your singers, pay your artists, be transparent, be honest, man. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Now, credit management. As a musician, credit management is very important. And I'll say this as well. If you guys get the Self app, there's an app called Self. It's literally a self-building credit app that you literally just do on your phone. I've been doing it for about, I think maybe 4 or 5 months, I think. And my credit score jumped up like 170 something points or whatever. Because, just because I set an amount there that I wanted to put in on the credit card for, a certain amount of months before I activated the credit card so I could start building my credit. And so once I did, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then what did I do? I went and I got a Guitar Center credit card. So now, not only do I not have, if I don't have the capital to invest in myself, I can still go and invest in myself, build my credit, and still have the ability to write off my taxes, the equipment of me purchasing, investing in myself, and then the principal of the credit card itself. So it's like you're still what is it called? What do you call it? You're still being able to tax deduct from not all sides, but like pretty much like 1.5. So that's really important, especially for us, because we're 1099. So if you play your cards right, and you do your taxes right, you can write off a lot of things such as mileage, gas, your trips, equipment, etc. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. And I already talked about diversifying your portfolio, and then I think this right here, diversifying your personnel as well, because like going back to the portfolio a little bit, in order, like for me to, like I said, I can give myself an example. Before I knew about foreign exchange, the only thing that I knew about diversification was from my dad, and that was me opening up a money market and an IRA account. And I did that when I was like in, I think, 10th or 11th grade. I think I saved up for about like 2 years, and I used that to get my first apartment, right? So that was my first time diversifying, but I couldn't go to another musician to see how to diversify my portfolio per se, right? Back then. So I went to an accountant, Edward Jones to be exact, right? So what I mean by that is like now, when I was older, during my first marriage, I found some guys on the internet that were talking about foreign exchange. And I was like, okay, what is that? So then I started seeing like a whole different side of the internet, a whole different side of YouTube and things like that. And then sometimes, but more not than often, I would find somebody, that actually does it in the city. But I would probably find them either more so like in a group, an MLM group, or they would just be like, yeah, I'm in the city, but I'm just online, something like that. But in order for you to diversify your portfolio, you're gonna have to get somebody that knows something about stocks, investments, foreign exchange, and things of that nature. So, and then that just increases your net worth, because you have more people that not only are interested in you because of what you're trying to do. Hopefully, they're interested in you as a person as well, right? So, then right, we got being realistic to work with. I wanted to talk about that just a little bit, about being realistic to work with. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? I mean, so for a musician to an artist, so I'll keep myself an example for a first time. Musicians, learn your music. Learn your music. Try to enhance the music. Don't take it away. Don't take anything away from it. Try not to, at least, because even though, we're not in church or whatever, these artists, these people who pay us, or these people who seek us out for our services, they they're people too. They're due respect. And the best way for an artist to do, or for a musician to do that, is to always daily, respect themselves by working on their craft, and then, working on the respect of music. So that's for the musicians to artists. So an artist to a musician, right? That would be getting your music on time. To the musicians, being clear and direct about what you want, what you expect from them. Trying not to throw too many curveballs with the list. Trying to stay on topic with the show, man. I mean, cause like, I know for me, I don't want to, and I know musicians alike are like this, that are like really serious. We don't want to learn songs, and then we get to a venue, and then we're not doing those songs that we learned, and then you're trying to give us new songs, or throw songs at us just because you think we're of some, immaculate caliber, thinking that we can play it just because, you think we're good or whatever. Sometimes we don't know songs. Sometimes we don't, and we should not, coming from a musician, I feel like we should not, do things like that, because like I said, the artists are people, the musicians are people. There should be some type of mutual respect between them, between the two, and that would be, getting music on time, being direct, and being like, hey man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may pull a song out or whatever. If you do, just like try to tell us either at rehearsal or in a group text or something like that, man. Don't just give us a curveball and expect us to know it just because. You know what I'm saying? And that goes into having decorum. Having decorum, I believe, going through like okay, the best way to do a show, I believe, in my opinion, from not even from my opinion, from my experience, is to play the set list, and or if you can't play the set list, do some easy stuff that people know, do some easy stuff that you know as either a musician or a singer. Do stuff you know, do stuff that your singers know. Because just because you know stuff, I mean your musicians know. Just because if you know stuff as a singer, the musicians may not know the stuff, you know, and then we're all looking like, oh man, okay, but then it's like, okay, what about the list? Because we do know this song, why aren't we doing this song? You know, having decorum, man. The best way to get through to do a show is to do the entire show, do the whole show, do what was planned, man. I believe that's having decorum. And then, you know, if you have any qualms with any musician or a singer or something like that, man, address that afterwards. Address things like that after the show, because you know there's a such thing as quenching the spirit in a secular setting as well. Because I mean, like, you know, I don't know, some audiences may like to hear singers rant, you know, but I don't know too many people that actually do, especially if they're ranting about something that's going on about the show. Like, I know for me, I think the best type of performer is a performer that says that is going through technical difficulties. Everybody can see it, but it then doesn't say, "Oh, hold up, guys, we're going through technical difficulties." We can hear the feedback. Everybody knows you're going through technical difficulties. Just try to like fix it real quick instead of putting the emphasis on either fixing it. I mean, instead of putting emphasis on the problem or the fact that we're gonna try to move on from the problem or we're getting the problem fixed. Try to just be like, okay, everybody hears what's going on. Just move to wherever you need to move to mitigate the situation. Because I mean, like I said, man, we hear the feedback. There's no point in saying, "Hold up, y'all, we got technical difficulties," or "Hold up, y'all, my keyboardist isn't ready." Like have some decorum, right? And then that goes to accountability and honesty. I think that goes back to what I was talking about in the money, man. You know, pay your artist, pay your musicians, get the venue paid. If that's what you said you were gonna do, get the venue paid, and then give the people what they want. Because the thing is, I know for me, growing up in church, I've come to the realization that some, not all churches, are literally like funded these lights and water work because of the people. You know what I'm saying? So if they lights and stuff and they mortgages is getting paid from the people are funding my lifestyle. The people are funding all of these things that I'm getting and things like that. So for me, it's the people that need to be the priority. And then then the venue, then the artist, then maybe the musicians. And this is coming from a musician. At the same time, we're all in that circumference of business, so we all should be respected. We all should be respected. I guess it's not like a level thing. It's just a circle. Yeah, you know, it's just a circle, right? And we're all in it together to spin that wheel to get some money, right? So, we're about to wrap up. I'm almost done. I appreciate you guys, everybody that's here. Everybody that may or may not watch the replay, the playback, I may do things like this more if you guys like this, but I definitely have more stuff planned for 2020, especially with this new setup that I have. I'm trying to get it a little bit more fluid, right? But I think for right now, it's doing good. So I appreciate y'all, but we're about to wrap this up. Maybe I should be done in maybe like 20 minutes, something like that, right? So now, this is all still under the business foundation, right? We talked about calculated risk, taking calculated risk. We talked about money management, credit management, diversifying your portfolio and your personnel, being realistic to work with, having decorum, accountability, and honesty. And then I kind of touched on the last point, but the point before last is a clean and private social media pages. Clean and private social media pages. And the reason why I say that is because this is what my mentor, my musical mentor, told me. And like I said, I can give myself an example. During my first marriage, right, there was some guy that was being disrespectful, right, to my wife and I. But it was on Facebook, right? And he was like in a whole different state. And, you know, we were just going back and forth publicly and things like that. And it was funny for a few people or whatever. But then, you know, I had somebody that would hold me accountable. You know, Lou called me and was like, "Hey, Mike, what is this?" Because because the comments you even said that you shouldn't even be worried about this because this guy's in a whole different state. And so, is this what you want people to look at your Facebook page and call you and see? Is this what you want people to see when they're looking to call you for a job on your Facebook page? Is this what you want people to see? You really want people to see that? Even on a good thing of me just telling my wife, "Hey, I'm in a coded way saying I'm about to make love to you tonight." You know, even stuff like that. It's like, no, bro, like keep that private. What you want to do is have a very objective social media page. You want to have a very objective media page. And the reason why is so you can get those calls, so people can take you seriously even before they meet you in person. Because especially now moving into whatever, everybody's doing virtual or at home, this, that, and the third. So if you really want to be taken seriously, your social media pages really are your resume pages. Those are the new resumes, especially whether you're like a musician, artist, or just a content creator. I mean, you know, sometimes your personal life is cool or whatever, but I know for me personally, growing up, having someone that would hold me accountable and be like, "Hey, look, no, this ain't it," especially if this is actually what you want to do. Excuse me, for a living. This is not what you want to do. You want to keep a clean, objective page that is that is relative to what you're trying to do with your life as far as music. You know, and that was very self-explanatory to me because I used to just post how I feel and stuff like that on Facebook. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares about how you actually feel, man. You know, so. But then, you know, and then sometimes some people don't care about the music, but at the same time, when you keep a objective page, it's really not about the subject of whether people like it or not. It's up to you to remain objective and be like, "Oh, okay, this is what I want to do with my life." So then the things that are extensions of my life, like these different social media things, YouTube, Facebook, and etc., these things need to reflect the type of life that I'm showing people that I'm living, right? So that's what it needs to be, not a whole bunch of stuff. And then I think lastly, like I said, I talked about this a little bit before, but I guess I'll try to go in a little more depth, right? Using artists' body of work as leverage against budgets. Using artists' body of work as leverage against budgets. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, like I said, another story. I was playing at the Dish for the collection. Shouts out to Fred. Man, I love that guy, bro. Playing for him at the collection, packing up, and somebody came to me and they were like, "Hey, Mike, saw that show you did at the camp with Larisha J. Shouts out to Larisha J. Thank you so much." And I was like, yeah, man, thank you. How did you like it or whatever? He was like, "Man, I wasn't there, but I heard a lot of things about it." And I think I heard a lot of good things about it. And I think that was the second person that told me about that. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Because that's kind of what I wanted, even though I didn't know who was gonna show up. I just wanted a good report afterwards. That's really what I wanted. And so I think that's the best. I know that's a very objective way, I believe, that I can gauge whether I did a good job or not. And then the checks, because the check definitely came, right? So he asked me, he was like, "Hey, man, how did you do that? Like, what do you do to get people to have, such a high budget or whatever?" And I told him, I was like, man, the budget's really non-existent if your artist has a body of work. Like, I mean, honestly, because the thing is, like I told him, because I brought Larissa J in. Shouts out to her again. Like I said, thank you. It was such a breath of fresh air playing for Larissa, and it was so cool. The different faces that I saw at the camp, and then how they did up the venue during Halloween, it almost made me feel like I was in a completely different state. And just playing behind her, like I said, was a super breath of fresh air, and I cannot wait to do it again. Shouts out to Nick Bilski, Joe Matthews, Pat Jamar. I appreciate y'all again, man. We're definitely gonna be doing some more stuff. But I told him, I was like, hey man, yeah, when the artist has a body of work, the leverage is, I mean, the budget's kind of like non-existent until you start asking for like ridiculous prices. You know, so how do you use an artist? How do you use an artist's body of work as leverage against the budget, right? Okay, so for me, like I said, I already used Tommy G as an example. So y'all use myself and Larissa J as an example, right? So hold on, let me get some music on. This will be the last point, and then we're getting out of here. I appreciate you all again. Crested Wiz, Black Collar King, bruh. Hit the Cash Apps up. Hit the PayPal. Hit the Venmo. Follow the Facebook. Follow the Instagram. Sub to the channel. All of that good stuff. Yeah, man. Especially if any of this resonated with you, please let me know. If I don't know what I'm talking about, let me know that too. You know what I'm saying? Leave it all in the comments. So here we go. How do you use an artist's body of work to leverage against the budget? So like I said, I met Larissa J in 2018 at a hotel venue in Nashville that was just plush. I was like, oh my gosh, just a hotel and a lounge, right? So I said, oh my goodness, you're so pretty. What's your Instagram? Didn't talk to her probably for like a good 2 years, right? So then I looked at her page and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, one day I was just like, oh, okay, because I'm hungry, right? So I'm like, okay, oh, she has not only a great people presence in Nashville, she's going around a lot of venues. She has multiple singles and multiple albums. She has multiple albums and singles. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is very easy for me to do. So then I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, she's coming from Nashville. So she's coming 2 hours away. So I'm not going to use the same price that I did the first time that I did it, because I just didn't know. I did not know because I just didn't know, right? So now that I knew I could use leverage against the budget, I didn't ask them how much they could pay me. I asked the artist, hey, how much do you want to be paid? How much do you want to walk away with yourself? She told me her price, and I said, okay, what about your guitarist? Because I know he's coming from wherever he's coming from too. She told me that price, and I was like, okay, cool. So we gonna get this. My Huntsville homies, we gonna get this. So that all added up to a sum. I made sure that it was something that that the fellas in Huntsville, Joe and Pat, I made sure that it was something that was gonna be high pay, low stress. Something that was gonna be high pay, low stress. And what do I mean by that? High pay, low stress. And this can kind of sort of going back to the having the decorum, right? I told them, it's like, oh, okay, I'm a new music director, right? I'm a new music director. And I put the quotes up because I need to learn theory to be a music director, right? So to be a real music director, but right now I'm just a music director, right? I can get through shows and stuff like that, but that's only because I've been around a lot of great music directors, right? So I know how to run a rehearsal and I know how to run a show and stuff like that. So in order to keep musicians interested in playing for you, you need to have decorum, and that comes with having shows that have high pay, low stress. All right, so what does the high pay? The high pay is easy, right? I got them usually more than what you usually make at a gig around here in the city. But it's about as much as one of the churches pays me here in the city. But like I said, it was one rehearsal. That's what I mean by low stress. One rehearsal. I got them the music as soon as I could. I could have did better at that. Definitely could have did better at that. But I got them the music as soon as I could. Anytime that they had a problem with the music or couldn't do something, I was like, hey, okay, let me see what I can do to fix that. I'm at my MacBook sending files, corresponding back and forth with the artist and things like that, and then corresponding with everyone, making sure that everything I said in private was conveyed in a great way publicly, and then that we're still not stressed during the time of the show. We only had one rehearsal. I sent them the files and everything like that. They had the music, like the covers and the originals. And you know, we had that one rehearsal without Larissa, right? Low stress without Larissa. We just went through the songs, and I have a trust in Joe and Pat because they are masters to me at what they do. They are masters and they are serious at what they do, man. So I appreciate them for that, for real, for real. So I try to give them things that I know if it's going to be something worth their while, I'm gonna put the stress level down because everybody's gonna be better and play better and feel better after the show if they walked into it with as least stress as possible. Then to make it even take it a step further, Larissa J, she sent charted music that she charted out. Now this is something that but she plays guitar as well, so she may have theory that some singers don't have, and so her being able to chart out that music made it even easier to get through the rehearsal, that one rehearsal and the show, just because we had things that if we forgot, we had visuals to see, okay, where are we, because we had actual charted paper, like pen, paper, charted music. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool too, and that right there lessens stress as well, right? So after getting the price, sending the whole sum to Adam, he was like, oh, okay, yeah. And so she came back to me and was like, hey, we need some more money or something. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went back and we got it. And the only reason why I was able to get that was because I established a relationship with someone that I did not know that would turn into a business venture. Just by saying, hi, you're a local musician. I don't even know if I'll see you again, but hey, just follow me, right? So I did that by doing my by networking, and then going to these different venues and seeing what their market is. What are you looking for? Are you looking for like new people out of state, or are you looking for people here and you want to showcase their talent? Once you figure out a venue's market, then you will be able to you'll be able to go anywhere, really, because I can put on a show at the Dish or the Camp or the Sidetracks, and it'll go. It'll go. And the only reason why is because I have a strong network, and then people who really know me, they know I'm authentic. I try to be as authentic as possible. I try to be as open as possible and let people know, hey, this is what it is. This is what it's not. You know, if I can pay you, I'll let you know. If I can't, I'll let you know. And I try to like tell me what you want. You know, I try to, and that's how you and that's how you use artist leverage, body of work as leverage against budgets. Because if you know their market, if you know a venue's market, and you know what they want, and you know what they're willing to pay for, a budget is non-existent. Because the only thing that they're really looking for at that point, if you're giving them what they want, they're going to get the people out there. And then the people are going to buy, and then that'll recoup. You know, so and they'll still make a profit and stuff like that, right? So that's what that is, and really what that comes down to, artists and musicians, is just body of work. I see musicians here in the city that are just putting out albums. I'm trying to put out an album as well, just so I can show up more than a musician. So now, when I'm going out places or whatever, hey, yeah, that guy, he plays drums, but yeah, he can put on a show as well. He knows different musicians, different artists, and things like that, and he can put on a show, and a really good one that will make sense, you know. And that's what I try to do, because I mean, I know even in church, it's you know, it's about the people. It's about the people, man, and getting the people what they want, man. Making them have a good time, bro. And that's exactly what I'm about. People who know me, they know I like having fun. I like having fun, man. So I appreciate y'all. I hope this helps somebody, because I know people that have been I've been talking to in person about this, that I've kind of sort of gone in depth with them. They've been saying that, hey, this helps, or what you said has helped, and it's giving me insight and things to do or whatever. And that's all I want to do, man. Shouts out to Malik Adams, because he sold me a drum set not too long ago, and he was like, and we were talking and having a discussion, man, and he was like, man, see, this is what Malik said. He said, man, a lot of people just take the information and they just like leave with it, and they like, all right, I got mine, so you get yours, right? And I don't want to be that type of person, because I wasn't raised that way. Especially not by my parents, and then by Lou. Because I remember he told me, he was like, man, well, I remember I met this guy when I was 12, and he was like in college. I don't know, maybe I think his junior or sophomore year, one of the two. And he was like, bro, everything that I'm teaching you now, by the time you get like 22, 25, you'll be cool. And it's I've just been sharing information that I get. I love getting new information, especially new information that'll help me in my daily life, not just in music. I love doing stuff like that, and then giving it out to the people, man. That's what really makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate y'all again, man. This is Black Collar King, Crested Wiz, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Everybody that rewatches this, watches the playback, I'll kind of sort of maybe clip this up. And see what I can do with it. I'm gonna have more interviews soon. I have a big announcement coming up sometime next year. I may say it on my birthday. I'm not sure, but it's a huge announcement that I'm very excited for, very humbled about, and I definitely want to tell you, take you guys with me. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in the city or you're abroad, man, I've always said to myself that I want to be able to show people a journey of growth through my life, and that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm gonna be try to be more consistent, man, in these things, not just on YouTube and stuff like that, but just in life in general, man. I appreciate y'all again, bro. Shouts out to shouts out to Kevin Patrick, bro. He's a friend of mine that passed. That was the guy I was talking about. Like I said, I just came from that funeral. Shouts out to George West. I have his obituary on my wall. If y'all don't know who George West is, come talk to me about him, man. That was a great man. Like I said, I appreciate you all, everybody, everything, all of my descriptions, Facebooks, PayPal information, everything like that in the description and in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, man, we're gonna get it, man. Let's make 2022 another great year, right? Because I know for me, this year was great. I'm pretty sure you guys can see I'm in a new spot. So yeah, this year was great. This year was really great, and I can't wait to expand upon these great things and then make them greater, and then share them with you guys, man. Because I know that from this information that I'm giving you all, if we all take heed to it, it'll just mean more money for all of us. This isn't something. I'm not a person that has a scarcity mindset. It's money everywhere. It's money everywhere, man. And you just have to know where to go to get it, and be realistic in trying to get it, right? So, like I said, Black Collar King, Crested Wiz. I appreciate y'all, man. We out.
pride in my